And it's also like that other person probably is not putting you first.
Not even
So
thinking
it's like,
twice about it.
who's putting you first if you're not and the other person isn't?
Nobody.
No one.
Hi, y'all. My name is Denasia, and I'm a 22-year-old type A Black girl from Las Vegas who just moved to New York City last year to work for L'Oreal as a financial analyst.
Hey y'all, my name is Faith and I'm a 23-year-old type A Black girl from AZ living in Denver working remotely for Cisco as a business analyst.
This season is finally here and we can't wait to share more about our personal lives, working big girl jobs,
relationships, and life in general as type A Black girls. Hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to season 9 of Type A Black Girls.
We don't know what episode this is.
Have absolutely no clue.
We try our best.
No,
we be filming this and we're like, is this going to be the first or the last? We don't know.
Literally beats me. We know the last and we know the first, but everything else is
Up in the air.
no, absolutely up.
This is our fourth episode in the studio.
Only 5th Thursday.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, we filmed 2 yesterday.
And then Thursday?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I'm thinking because we're filming
'Cause today- yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is the 4th.
If you guys haven't cracked the code, we will literally film all of our episodes back to back to back all
Yeah.
week.
Mhm.
And then, we be bringing a suitcase and changing outfits. So y'all think this is a different day, but I don't think we're fooling anybody.
No.
Because the way I'll leave a couple accessories on, or we be forgetting a pair of shoes, and we're like, oops.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, but it's not. There's literally no secret. I literally come to Naja's house once a quarter, and then we bulk film because that's the only way you guys are getting this type of studio. And I just when we change, like when we have like life changes and pivots, I don't know if this is going to be forever. So really, just
Soak
it up for real.
Because between me going to school again,
I'm saying maybe I having kids soon. That's crazy.
Did you see my heart? I said, oh wow.
Me having kids probably in like I say a whole college degree. I'm gonna have kids in a whole college degree. So in about 4 years.
Yeah.
Like me getting married, like that's not gonna change nothing. But yeah, me having kids, I'm not gonna be readily available every quarter. Like that's not.
She's a mother.
Actually.
Literally.
So
to many children. Because at this point, this is our baby.
To many.
I'm thinking your dog.
Oh, see,
and this, you on kid number 2?
I would be on kid number 2.
Yeah.
By the time it's fingers crossed Sydney doesn't pass away, but because she's
why would you?
Well, she's up there. By the time I have kids, she's gonna be 12. That's 96.
That's
like that.
In
baby
dog
is
years,
be up there.
That's
yeah,
true.
Exactly.
That's true. Marley's like 9. I'm like, damn.
Oh, that's gonna be rough.
You getting up there, girl?
No, like you've been through.
That's my
like,
girl.
No, exactly. That's
literally. She's seen some shit.
Bro, she's been there. She's been there since I started college.
Yeah, she's been there since 2016.
Yeah, she's been here since 2018.
Yeah.
And that's my mom. Don't get that baby. We're not taking care of her. And now, no, like my mom was like, "That's okay. I don't care. It's my dog anyway."
Whose dog is in it?
No, exactly.
Literally.
So, but yeah, I love I was just telling Denasia on the train. I was like, literally, whenever Sydney dies is when I'm gonna need to start having kids because I cannot go into the bathroom without her being on my knees. And when Sydney dies, I'm gonna need a baby to be on my knees. Like that's just what it is. Like literally, Sydney will like get her nose, open the door, and then lay there with me by the toilet paper, or get on my knees. And I'm like, a baby will also do that. So
true.
Trade for trade.
Literally.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that until probably about a certain age.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, get up off me.
You know that book is like, my baby will always be like, I love you. It's like a little son, and then he grows up, and the mom gets older.
Oh, I don't know that. It sounds sad.
It's literally, I didn't think, I love the book, but then a mom read it when she was having kids, and she was just like, my kids are going to grow up. And bro, sometimes I'll cry just thinking about my kids going to college. Like
I cry thinking about the fact that every time I FaceTime my parents, they be looking a little bit older.
Oh.
I'm like, that does a number on me because I'm like, damn.
And like realistically, I think you said this at like one episode. Like this is the last time you live with them is going to be the last time you ever live with them.
Yeah, I mean, like realistically, like the way my brain numbs, I'm thinking about numbers. I'm like, okay, I see them 3 times a year ish.
Yeah.
Think about that times the amount of many years lifespan wise that most parents have. Like that's a limited number of times that you really get to see your parents in person once you're like growing out the house and now can't be like readily next to them all the time.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
No, it actually hurts. So let's go ahead and go to faster announcements.
I mean, this is going to be kind of a deeper episode, so I guess we're kind of starting it off right. You guys know we have our fun episodes and then we have our deep ones.
Yeah, just not that deep though.
Yeah, hopefully not.
No, not that.
We started off with Sydney dying.
No,
So
okay, you got me there. I guess I did put us in the loophole, but
let's do our Udits.
Yes. So Shein, my pointy shoes. You guys saw these last episode. These are Levi's, I want to say, and those jeans are so expensive.
Oh yeah,
but worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't buy it, but shout out to my little brother. And then Shein. Honestly, this whole episode is on. This whole freaking season. Shein, Fashion Nova, Zara, and Forever 21.
Yeah. Well, I can add Ego to the mix because these shoes love Ego.
Down.
She eats every time.
Every time.
These boots are from Ego, and this dress is from Ego.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so Ego down.
I didn't know they sold clothes.
I don't know they sold clothes. So, oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
No, they sold clothes too.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this whole set's from Ego.
Period.
These little rings. I got this one at a flea market.
Oh, that ring
in
is
Brooklyn.
really fun.
If you can't, might not be able to see here, but it kind of is giving like Raven's vision.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I can't look at it too deep because it kind of gives crystal ball. And
Yeah.
that's a little too witchy for me.
Literally.
I don't play with demons.
No.
But anyway, costume announcements.
Yes. So our new Patreon subscription type of thing is like outline is we're going to be doing 2 episodes every single month. We're still trying to figure out what episodes will be on Patreon, whether it's a mini episode, a life recap. We are doing a truth or drink. Honestly, hopefully by the time this comes out, that'll be posted.
Yeah.
So we actually need to ask the girlies what questions, because I have a list of questions, but I'm sure
I know we need to get like.
I'll ask in group me.
Submit your juiciest questions. Just continue submitting juicy questions. That way we can do truth or drinks during next season.
Next season, yeah. Because I'm gonna be back in July. But but also with Patreon, I know last season we said like, hey, only the Patreon girlies can submit the questions and we'll answer it on there. Y'all just go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. It's $3. If you've ever bought coffee, subscribe to the Patreon. Like I just
and the way inflation's set up, that's literally like half a coffee.
Pennies on $1 at that point. So like you're spending more than that on Shein. I know. You got a cart on that app. I know. So and you're gonna buy it eventually. So go ahead and just add the $3 on top, subscribe to Patreon. And then with the free suggestion box questions, definitely submit whatever dilemmas, whatever. But again, remember, we're not therapists or lawyers. So
or doctors.
We are not liable for anything. But
or therapists.
We're going to try our best. We're going to try our best, and we're going to try to answer them throughout the season. That kind of aligns with the episodes, the ones that we already have now. But if you submit any throughout this time, we're going to have a virtual episode at the end of the season to answer all your questions. So,
and we haven't plugged this in a minute, but if you feel like you have a pressing dilemma, like you can DM us always personally. Like our Type A Black Girls DMs are always open. Absolutely. Our personal DMs are always open.
Yeah.
And then also our group me as a community. If you guys have any questions, the girlies in there are always willing to help. So
yeah, and the link tree, the group me link will be in the link tree in our Instagram.
Yeah, every link you ever need will be in the link tree. Yeah. But let's move into question of the week.
Also, we hit 307 subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to y'all.
Y'all been showing out.
No, yeah, because so let's get to 1,000.
Yeah, make it 50. Yeah.
We halfway look at the 50. So yeah, Mom, what's the question of the week?
So the question of the week is, what is something you've been putting off that once you do it, a weight will be lifted off your shoulders?
So I definitely I don't know when you have to stop getting pap smears, but I've been doing it since I was 20, and now I just feel like it's a every yearly thing. But I definitely need to get my well woman checkup. Yeah. And if they say, oh, you need a pap smear, perfect. But if they do, I'm just gonna put my calm music on and whatever. But it's just headphones in. No, exactly. But it's just the point of making the appointment and having to go. It might be during work. That's irritating. So, and then honestly, during this weekend, I was like, my feet shouldn't be hurting this much. I wasn't wearing heels. I just think I have bad feet. So I'm like, that's actually sick. I'm pushing the 2.5 and I have to go to I have to get orthotics. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So I need to go to the
foot doctor.
Yeah, the foot doctor. Not first. Foot surgeon is crazy. My mom had to get double bunion surgery.
Oh,
when I was a baby and Hope was a baby. So I was making bottles for Hope while I was 4. And Hope was 2. And my mom, but yes, and literally mom was like, okay, put the powder in there. Cause she literally was in a wheelchair. Yeah. And nobody, she had no help. So I hope I don't have to get that. But I need to get that checked. Cause Ancestry kind of shows you. What else I need to do? I need to get my teeth clean, and I'm sure I have cavities. What else? Teeth.
It's actually same. I need to schedule a dentist appointment too.
Yeah, it's you just forget about these
these adult things.
Yes, but when your tooth breaks or something like that, those bills, especially if you don't have insurance, thank the Lord we do, and we got good insurance too. But even on top of that, when I went to urgent care, and we'll get into that in another episode, $155 just for me to tell me, I'll give you some antibiotics.
What?
Okay, let me prescribe them. How about that?
God, yeah.
Like, what? So, yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm glad I put money in my HSA. Like, I'm just like, I'm not complaining. I'm complaining, but I'm also grateful to have the things. But, like, I'm still complaining because...
because it's still annoying.
Exactly. American healthcare actually sucks. But, that's the things I need to put off. I need to do, but I've just been putting off. What about you, moms?
Yeah. Everything the same. I haven't... the gynecologist scares me, so I've been avoiding her.
Bro, you've been meaning to go since last year.
I've never gone.
I know, but we were saying it on
it's actually bad.
On like seasons back.
I know
like
when we had the
episode.
Yeah. No, I've never gone.
Oh yeah, no, it
literally just scares the hell out of me. The doctor in general, I will go if it's like life or death, which we will hear it in a future episode. Because I also have to schedule a neurologist appointment as a follow up to the incident that I was in to make sure I don't got no long term damage. Because the way my focus was already shitty, like it's not any better. And I have constant headaches all the time. So I just don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm kind of afraid to see. Yeah. But I got to do these things. And then I have to set up a meeting with my grad advisor because if you guys don't know, I'm starting grad school next year. And I was in a deferred program. So I'm going to be starting it. Like I got accepted senior year of college and I've just been having up to 4 years to now choose when to go. The stressful part is though, they didn't tell me how much my scholarships are going to be. I'm not going to know until the year I start. So I kind of just have to go into a blind, like, I don't know how many thousands upon thousands of dollars I'm going to owe.
You can't plan.
I can't plan that. So I'm literally going to set up a meeting with the man that's like running our program to be like, what should I do to actually prepare for this? Because I feel like there isn't many like people I know that one went through the program. Yeah. And two that are like telling me how to actually properly save. Because I'm like, life is already very expensive. Like, how do I put away enough money to pay for like an $80K tuition
on top of
everything else. Like that's insane. So I don't know. I'm just stressed out because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And a lot of the grad school like scholarships, I can't really apply to early because you apply to the year you go. So I'm like, this is just really hard.
Gotcha.
I know. Heck. I'm like, dang, like school is expensive and I know it's going to be worth it, but it's just like thinking about grad school, if you're thinking about going back, like really get a plan going of like how much it's going to cost and just the timeline of it, because I'm like, okay, I know I have to full run leave my job and I have to be there full time. So I'm like, I just don't know how I'm going to go back to being a broke college student after literally living for almost up to 3 years.
But not broke. I'm sure you'll figure out streams of income, but like
I will, but it's like I won't have a consistent like full-time job income anymore. So yeah, that's my life at the moment. And I'm just really stressed about that call because I don't know how to really approach it. Like we'll see. I'll probably be on ChatGPT. Like, what questions do you ask?
No, literally.
About scholarships? Like, I don't know.
You just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, literally.
Especially you're literally pivoting a whole new way of life.
Literally. So we'll see. And also just visiting Philly. I'll be in school in Philly, and I do want to visit because my mom be stressing me out. She be sending me TikToks of people like if you know Kensington, the area in Philly where it's like zombie land, where like the crackheads be like slumped over.
Oh, wow.
She be sending me videos like, you got to be careful when you go out there.
Bro, parents will scare you into not going.
Like why am I getting on the phone with you? You hear about that girl that got kidnapped and stabbed?
No.
No, I didn't.
Now I'm going to have
I did. Now I know. But I'm like, girl, please. Please. Like,
oh my gosh.
I said, you're turning into grandma.
No. Because I mean,
my grandma, when I tell you as a kid, me and my sister would literally be like, let's see how long it takes for grandma to bring up who got killed recently. Because literally every time we leave her house, she'd be like, now you know that girl down the way stabbed and killed.
Which way?
I'm like, we don't live here.
Stabbed and killed?
I'm like, she's like, that girl over there locked in a basement 15 years. I'm like, grandma, like, what are we going to do? And now my mom started to do that. And I'm like, mom, you're turning into grandma.
Bro, they literally do.
They literally are. And I'm going to probably turn into my mom anyway.
I'm sure.
50 years from now. That girl down the way.
That girl down the way. You know, hey, you know, baby, like,
oh God,
in the basement.
Yeah,
basement is crazy.
Basement is crazy. I'm like in Barstow.
No, hey,
who knows?
It can happen anywhere.
I know, you never know, but I say to say, be safe, ladies.
Facts.
So yeah, that's what I'm putting off. We'll see if I get it done this week. I realize I will overstress and overthink myself out of doing the simplest things. Like actually probably the simplest things I could ever possibly do. Like, I have to call somebody or I have to do something. It causes so much anxiety, and it's like literally like
debilitating.
Yeah, literally. To the point where I get like decision fatigue and I'm just like, I can't do it.
I don't want to do it. And then you do it and you're like, okay,
that was so easy.
That wasn't that hard.
It was not that bad.
I actually feel so much better and so much more confirmed.
Free.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Oh, so free.
That's how I feel about, like, it's honestly getting to be like, I need to figure out if maybe I have undiagnosed ADHD or something. Because it's getting to be to the point where it's like, even like just texting, like I'm like, I get like decision fatigue.
And I'm like, well, what should I say? Should I add a period?
Right. And then I just don't say anything. And then that's just as bad. Yeah. And then the meeting doesn't get scheduled or the doctor's appointment doesn't get scheduled. And then it just causes more problems.
Like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. I'm not going to hold you. That's what happens with a lot of our posting. I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I'm like, frick, it's literally Monday. I have tops 2 things to post. Like, then it's the next episode. So if you see us like not posting, be like, Faith, get on that. Like, post. You better get on that. Or if
you see that YouTube video is late, just DM me like, Denasia. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
and
guys.
we will not take it personally.
No, literally.
Like, we won't. Like, you know
I can take accountability.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to do it, but like things come up or we promise something or adulting in life. Literally. That's just what it is.
And anxiety. Anxiety gets the best of me every single time. Not gonna lie. She's a bad bitch. She wins every time.
Oh, wins. And I'm not gonna hold you. I think I could really take over some things if I had a really strong Adderall prescription. I can make some things.
I agree.
I can make the world,
But here's the thing. I'm just so afraid of being so reliant on something to be productive.
Yes.
To the point where I'm like, oh, do I want to start that? Because I feel like it's very hard to stop.
Especially going to school. Like,
right.
I didn't know people was on Adderall at school.
My God.
I'm like, in the head.
I'm like, how are y'all doing so well? I've just been raw dogging life.
Bro, literally.
No, nothing.
Between
no help.
Adderall and Coke, that's
how people are getting through it. I'm just like, I literally have never done, like, I've never tried any of that. And I'm just like, I'm kind of afraid of what that will do, though, because if I'm able to actually lock in, I know that I have an obsessive personality.
Oh, and I'm just going to be like, okay, I will be at Walgreens.
On God, like a crackhead. I will be leaned over. I will be on the streets.
Hey, can you please?
Can you please
refill my prescription?
And that's just being self-aware.
No, oh yeah, we have very extreme personalities. Like, that's just what it is. Literally. Like when we like something, even if it's cereal, we go ham on it. Like,
I'm literally like, I'm waiting for when I go back into my popcorn, like, obsession era.
Right. For me, for life, since I tasted it, was dragon fruit vitamin water. Like, that explains
why you were so adamant about the dragon fruit drink yesterday.
Yeah, I love dragon fruit.
The girl was like, "Do you want tropical instead?" And Faith was like, "If it's not dragon fruit, I don't want it." And I was like, "She really loves some dragon fruit."
I love a good dragon fruit, but I tasted it. It didn't taste like water. That I like artificial dragon fruit flavor because real dragon fruits taste like little nothing, but they're great laxatives. Yellow dragon fruits, I've never tried it, but there was a stint on TikTok and the girlies were dragon fruiting it down and she was like, yeah, I've been pooping all. I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, I have one yellow dragon fruit a week, like, just so I can be regular. I'm like, drink some water. Like,
right.
Yeah,
let's up our fiber.
But I mean, I think it's very fibrous, so it makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Like, to rely on a fruit to poop, like, it's a little bit crazy.
We need to work on our gut health.
A little bit. Bro,
take that Activia. Activia has these really, like, amazing...
That's grandma. That's grandma.
I know.
That's grandma yogurt, bro.
But like, no. They have these little mini, like, you know, the little Danimals.
Oh yeah,
drinks?
yeah.
They have adult versions of that.
Is it good?
It's a bomb. It's literally an adult drink. It's so good, and that's like a daily probiotic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, literally, like, it helps with gut health, helps everything.
Oh, love.
Yeah, and they have a strawberry blueberry flavor.
Me and milk just do not go.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I'm lactose intolerant, but like, I just got it as an adult. Like, before I was fine, but like straight milk will make me feel really yucky.
I'm still not sure on the science of how the almonds turn into milk. I'm not gonna hold you.
But I will get the vanilla almond milk every single time. Like, if that's an option, vanilla almond milk is that girl for me. Not Silk, Almond Breeze.
Yeah.
Silk don't taste sweet.
You know, this weekend we turned Kiana into an almond milk girl.
Yes.
She's like, I never had no almond milk.
I'm like, girl.
I'm like, give it a shot.
No, literally. My stepmom was vegetarian, so she put me on almond milk, and it's so sweet.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Almond milk with some Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
So stupid.
And she has a family size and a regular size, because I went grocery shopping for the house, and I didn't check her cabinet.
No, she didn't.
So, I mean, that's going to be there for a
long time.
Yeah, for the whole year, probably.
Well, I don't know, because my mom, she went through my fridge. She was like, why is your mustard expired?
I'm not checking.
I said, I don't check that. I didn't know mustard. She went through my seasonings. She's throwing away the Lawry's. I didn't know Lawry's expired. I'm like, what the hell? I've been using that. She said this expired September 22.
Oh. I mean, you're not dead.
I'm still standing, but I was like, I guess all my meals just had a little extra kick. I never knew it expired.
A little extra spice. That never hurt nobody.
But almond milk doesn't expire, but I realized you have to throw it away after you open it for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Who knew?
I mean, between all the smoothies and cereal I eat, like...
It don't last that long anyway,
exactly.
But still, I was just like, I have a family size, and I was like, oh, damn.
Oh, a family size just for you? Yeah, that's not...
Literally. Like, I'm a family of one. But.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, let's get into
this episode. No, we're exiting our people-pleasing era, that's for sure.
Exiting. It's like, I don't know, and it feels good.
Yeah, it's hard doing it in the moment.
I mean...
Hey, yeah,
I mean,
we've lived it.
No,
but
literally.
Let's go ahead and get into this episode. So we're going to talk about how to exit your people-pleasing era and how to actually put you first, and not just talking about why it's important, but like actual things that we do to do that.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I think a lot of people talk about, oh, like you got to put you first, but it's like
how?
Literally, how do you do that?
Yeah, and it's very hard. It's not fun.
What does that look like?
It's a little bit of a miserable time when you're going through it, but like there is light at the tunnel. But it might just be a very long tunnel.
Yeah.
That's literally it. But moms, what are some signs of people pleasing that you've exhibited in the past / what do you think it stems from?
So for me, I'm not going to lie, I didn't realize I was a people pleaser. I was just like, I'm just doing what I can to make everybody happy. And that's what I chopped it up to be. And I didn't really realize it was an issue until I started realizing things I was doing, I really was putting other people first, to the point where it sacrifices Denaja's peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm literally doing things to make other people happy and I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I realized I kind of have a problem with that. And I think I have a tendency to just say yes a lot because I don't want to let people down.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people in my life. I think I had a fear, especially when I was younger, of like confrontation or just rocking the boat.
Yeah, don't want to.
I don't want to rock the boat. I'm like, I want everybody to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I will sacrifice how I feel and my needs to make everyone else feel okay. Because I don't want to be the one that's like causing an issue, quote unquote. But once I realized that was the issue, I was like, we can't keep saying yes to everything, Denaja. For one, you're overcommitting yourself. And then you end up disappointing people when you can't deliver everything you said you did.
Exactly.
So now you're not keeping your word. So either way, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
And I also felt like it stemmed from me realizing that when I overcommit myself and I get like overstimulated, like we just said, like anxiety, I just shut down.
Oh, bad.
And now I'm going ghost.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn, that really doesn't help your situation.
Mm-mm.
So it just ends up being this like really deep tunnel you kind of dig yourself in unintentionally, but you have good intentions.
Oh, great intentions.
You have the best intentions, but like the actual execution just never works out.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized I had a problem.
It just sucks. It literally sucks. I think for me, like, my signs was kind of like going with other people's ideas or action just because I knew it was the path of least resistance. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, well, if we do this, like, I know they're going to think highly of me and stuff like that. Like, why do I care? But
it's also caring a lot about other people.
Caring so much.
So much.
So, and to this day, like, we're still in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah. We're not on the other side. Like, we see the light, but we're not, like, completely there yet.
But we've gone through a lot of hurdles to be where we're at right now. Like younger Faith is absolutely screaming. But I think also, like, I'd also rather not cause any, like, annoyance or potential trouble for the other person. Like, I don't want to trouble you, so I'll just go with what you say.
Yep.
Or I'll go with what you think, or I'll do what you need before I'm doing what I need.
Yep.
And it's like, thinking back, like, why would you do that?
And it's also like that other person probably is not putting you first.
Not even
so
thinking
it's like,
twice about it.
Who's putting you first if you're not and the other person isn't?
Nobody.
No one.
Literally nobody. Like, I was like, bro, like, and also, like, I need to make sure everybody's good. Like, I'm a natural born helper. I need to make sure everybody is good. And, like, it's also, like, trying to fit a whole bunch of, fit in a whole bunch of ass. Kind of like you said, like, kind of overexerting yourself for everybody else. But then I look back and I'm like, well, what about my tasks? What about the things I need to do for myself? And it was just like, well.
You're putting all that aside.
We have no time for Faith. Because everybody else's ass, I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. Oh, I'll get that to you real quick. I have stopped saying, I have now, like, let's say, like, it's more so with work. Somebody's asking me to do something. Hey, can you get this to me? Yeah, I can get it to you by the end of the week. Yeah. If I give it to you earlier, cool. But unless it's a fire drill from my manager or my director or leadership, give me some time. And if I deliver it to you earlier, cool. But if not, you'll have it by Friday at 5.
I think it's also just a pressure to perform also.
Yeah.
I think if you're like an older sister or you just feel like you have this pressure on you to like really do well or like high expectations of yourself, you're always like, okay, I need to do something and do it well. And do it perfect, actually. Yeah. So it needs to be perfect. So then you put even higher standards on yourself that no one was even expecting of you.
Just you.
literally you're expecting that. No one said that.
No.
No one said that.
You made that expectation. You're literally stressed. And also like a sign that I kind of had was like mirroring what I thought the other person wanted. Not what does Faith want. What do I think they want?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Literally why? But like in the moment you're like, okay, well this is going to make them happy. And it's really like, it's boil it down. We're trying to make other people happy before our own happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, it's just like, girl, like life is too short to be putting other people first.
And honestly, I think that comes down to also like people always say set boundaries. I never really knew what that looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I realize setting boundaries is realizing what I need first before I do something for someone else.
Anybody else.
Like if it's going to severely inconvenience me to the point where I literally can't do it, why am I saying yes? And that's when you set the boundary and say, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But like getting to that point of even saying no.
Saying no is so hard.
The anxiety of just, it's not even really saying no. It's just the fear of how they react to them.
What will they think of me?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, probably not
just
nothing.
debilitating.
Like, no, it's so debilitating. It's really like, what was it? You said decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
The people pleasing does have a lot of decision fatigue, but like, I was like really proud of myself when like, for example, one of my coworkers was like, hey, can you do this? And it was like a last minute ask and I had other work to do. And I was like, actually, no. Could you get somebody else on the team to do it? You know how much?
Woo!
You know,
I'm not there yet.
No, because I was just like, this isn't life or death. You're asking me last minute. It actually has nothing to do with my job. No.
Why would you ask that?
What? Like, and I'm sure I could have done it, but it was just like, no,
I'm good.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to. So
yeah.
That's
no,
it.
literally, and that's okay.
That can be the reason. I just don't want to.
You don't have to also over explaining myself.
You don't. That's hard.
I actually am still working on this because I will literally like, I realized I looked back at like some old emails because I was looking for a certain like file that I missed.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at how I would reply to people and it was like, I would do this, but I just da-da-da-da, and going on a tangent of just shit they never asked. And they really don't care. Yeah. They don't want to know. Mm-hmm. Like you can say no without having to feel like you need to give a huge reason and make people understand why you said no.
I will adjust my email. Like I'll start over explaining and I'll be like, okay, well, realistically, they don't care. They didn't ask. No, I can't. Can you ask so-and-so?
Literally. Even down to friends, like when it comes to like hanging out or like even just like events happening, I'm like, if it's not working with my schedule, I love you, but I literally can't do it. I can't do it. And it just sucks because you don't want them to think that you're not showing up for them.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't have it in me to do that. Or I'm mentally burnt out and I'm not going to be fun to be around.
Exactly.
So I'd rather just remove myself from the equation because I genuinely can't be with you and like be a fun time right now.
Or like if there's an event and you know how tired it's going to make you and you already know what you have the following day, like, hey, I need a day of rest.
Yes.
Like I cannot overexert myself, like, because I want to be present in this, whatever Sunday's event is going to be. You kind of see what I'm saying?
It's really choosing your battles.
It's like, choosing
which
your battles.
one am I going to go to?
Exactly. And it's hard because you're like, I don't want them to da-da-da. But it's like, if they're your friend, then
they understand. And I realized a lot of my other friends were doing that. They'd be like, I would do it on Sunday, but Sunday's my reset day. And I'm like, wow, I like that. Because I would have been like, okay, Sunday's my reset day. I would have pushed everything I had to reset on to make one person happy and be like, okay, I'm showing up.
Yeah.
But at what cost? At literally resetting myself for the entire week and having that day to like recoup. And now my whole week is thrown off all because I said yes. And I didn't want to do it.
Laundry's not done. House ain't clean how you wanted it to. You got to speed clean it. Like
I'm stressed out all week.
No, yes, because you did not take a day for yourself.
Literally.
It's just
boundaries.
Yeah,
bro.
it's just that really is. But you know, if you're like, okay, well, I'm aligning to a lot of the things you guys are saying, but like I really don't still know if I'm a people pleaser. So I kind of looked it up, and on the Calm website, they had signs you're a people pleaser. 1, difficulty saying no. If you find it hard to refuse requests or say no to others, even when it's something you don't want to do or don't have time for, it can be a sign of people pleasing. You prioritize being nice to others over your well-being.
Read me like a book.
Literally Colleen Hoover, like, huh? Are you kidding?
Deadass.
Okay, Mom.
Number 2.
Want a popcorn? Yeah, okay.
Low self-esteem. People pleasers often rely on the approval of others to feel good about themselves. If you notice your mood and self-worth are heavily influenced by what other people think of you, it could indicate a tendency to please people.
I'm still working on this one. This one's really hard to get.
Actually, this one, This one ate me up.
Yeah,
bad. I'm not gonna lie, because I literally talked about how my therapist Margaret, she was right. A wrong clock is right twice a day. Okay, she was a little crazy, but she did say this. She was like, "How come if someone does XYZ to you, or you feel like you had a bad interaction with somebody, your whole day is messed up
internally,
your whole week?
Yeah,
you're losing sleep.
Oh yeah, maybe even in my dreams, bro.
Oh God,
like I'm like so miserable.
That should not happen." She was like, "That's a sign that you have low self-esteem and you're relying on other people, like how they feel about you, to determine how you feel about you."
You know how hard it is for somebody to tell you have low self-esteem?
I said, "I'm confident."
Bro, when I typed in like my symptoms and like how I felt about myself, and it was like, so you have low self-esteem, I was like,
girl, anyway.
No, like,
which is literally what a low self-esteem person would do.
I'm like going to Reddit, I'm going to all these different websites, and they're saying the same thing. Like, you have low self-esteem, and I was like,
yeah, but I think also we don't put a word to it.
We don't put a word to it.
Like I would always think of low self-esteem as like, oh, I hate myself, or like I'm like, you know, like I'm not confident. But I think you can be confident and still have low self-esteem,
which is unheard of.
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
I didn't know you could have both.
Yeah. And it hurts when you heard that, when when Margaret said that, like, how did you feel?
I felt like, first of all, I wrote down what she said.
Oh yeah,
because she was like, "You write this down?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, Margaret, I am.
Yeah,
but yeah, I felt like it really like took me back.
Yeah,
like, there wasn't many times she gagged me, because a lot of things she was saying, it was things I already knew. I just needed someone else to tell it to me to really like make it click. When she told me that, I never clicked, and then I was like, okay, I understand though, because it's like, that's a good point. Why am I letting how other people feel about me dictate everything? And she was like, the fact that you are literally like running over a mill in your head of how people feel about you. She said, that's literally not healthy. She was like, you're allow how other people think of you to really run your life.
Bro, and it's so, like, I'm literally like, how to get over how other people think of me.
And it's so hard.
And it's like, there's no easy fix.
There's no cure. It's just like, you have to work on it day in and day out.
Yeah, and my therapist was like, you've literally been this way your whole life. Like, it's not going to be one day you magically just change.
Unlearn that.
You have to, like, literally learn new ways to cope with this, and eventually you'll be good. Yeah. But it's not like there's no magic fix. Like, I can't tell you any magic words and you'll be like, oh, I don't have low self-esteem anymore. And I was just like,
yeah,
girl.
But the main thing that at least Margaret told me and what I was working on was like fixing how I talk to myself in my head.
Oh.
Like, if a situation is happening, instead of thinking like, oh my God, like, okay, if I say no, how are they going to react? Instead of like having negative self-talk, like making it positive and being like, okay, if I put myself first, how will I feel?
Yeah.
And making it not a them, but more of an I.
Yeah.
Which is really like just being more in your selfish era. But it's just like, it's hard to do that, especially if you've been doing it for 23, 24 years.
No, literally.
I'm like, this is how my brain works. But you have to rewire how you think.
Literally honestly, I feel like your 20s is just rewiring things that you learned in your childhood.
And maybe it's that frontal lobe developing.
And slowly but surely.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that would literally like
rock me.
Oh God.
Even 2 years ago.
Damn near 6 months ago.
Yeah, points were made.
Like, literally, there's a good chunk of things that I probably would not be able to physically, like, get over if I was 21 or 22. And that was literally only, like, 2 years ago.
No, in your 20s, you're just very developmental.
Yeah.
Very developmental.
Yeah.
Number 3, feeling guilty for prioritizing yourself. Feeling bad for putting your needs first is a familiar feeling among people pleasers. Well, yeah.
Yeah, feeling guilty all the time, yeah.
Just guilt-ridden. Like, oh reason. My gosh. Like, inside
like, no one hates you. You're safe.
And that's great talk in the head, but to really believe it, like, I'm like, okay, girl, you're saying the right things, but I'm just not believing you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Really
what do you mean?
Fake it till you make it, honestly.
It's a lot of fake it till you make it. And it's like you can always do good self-talk, but also there's the other girl in your head like, no, they actually hate you.
Yeah, literally.
And it's like, no.
Like, girl, shut up.
No, they don't. I didn't do anything to make they hate me. And I literally, my therapist said, focus on the facts. Did they say they hated you?
Did their actions change?
Did their actions say that they hated you? Okay, well, then don't assume. Assuming gets me in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yes.
A world of trouble. Just don't assume. And it's easier. This whole episode is easier said than done.
Yeah.
Like,
but literally not assuming, like, yeah, that's a good point. If they didn't say they were mad at you, if they're not acting mad at you, but then also that also comes with not reading into things too. Because it's like, oh, damn, like, I haven't heard from them from a while.
No, exactly. Quietness does not mean they hate you. And honestly, like, even also in a relationship, like, just because Dammy's quiet, he's just a quiet. What are the facts? Dammy is a quiet guy. He will only talk if needed.
Yeah.
Or if I ask him a dumb question, or just to question it. But a lot of it is dumb. But like, what are the facts?
Yeah.
He is a quiet man. At the end of the day, he's also a man.
And also, a lot of that came from me putting myself on the other people. Like, okay, how would I feel if that was the
literally.
And it's like, don't project your own insecurities onto people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not responsible for that.
And like, literally, my therapist was like, you're thinking that they think
what you think
about yourself. And I was like,
yep.
And that's what Reddit was saying too. And I was like,
yeah. That's what Margaret said. She said, do they think that or do you think that? I said,
and we
gagged once again.
Literally, and we think the worst things about ourselves.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they think I'm lazy. Did they say that?
Did they say that? But they don't even know you.
They don't know you. That literally, like, for us, it's huge. For them, it's just one more thing in their
small.
day.
Yeah. But I will say it has helped me give people a lot of grace.
Oh,
I'm
so
thinking,
much.
I'm thinking if I'm like this, I know for a fact they're like that. So if they're acting some way, I'm not even gonna put it on anything, but they're probably going through the same shit I'm doing.
Or just adulting is hard. So you probably got a whole bunch of life. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I have been giving way more, and I've been like actively saying, like, I'm gonna give them grace because I'm sure they got something going on.
Yeah. That I have no clue about.
It's just not that deep. It's not life or death.
Yeah, literally.
It's not life or death. Like,
and they didn't kill nobody. They didn't.
And the thing is, like, they didn't hurt my feelings. Like, and even if they did, that's something that, like, I'll just journal about and we'll call that a day. But, like, again, all this growth has literally happened in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
We're saying
this is recent.
The only reason why this is an episode is because we are in the tunnel.
Yeah.
We're in the tunnel.
And I will say a lot of that also was kind of like me realizing that, but I had to take a step back because I would see a lot of videos online or like I would see other podcasts and they're talking about how much growth they have with setting boundaries and just like doing all these things that we're saying we need to work on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't compare my chapter 2 to their chapter 30.
Oh no, because
like this is the beginning of my journey to this. I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, they're doing it. Like I should be further along on that. Cause realistically, I just realized this was a problem recently.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and compare and be like, damn, well, I wish that I was at that point when I'm not even, they've been working on that for years.
Exactly. And everybody has their something. So they might be good at setting boundaries, but also bad at something else. Like that's where comparison can be good. Like that it's okay. Like they're doing really good in this aspect and maybe all of life is amazing, but everybody got they something.
Everybody has their something. And a lot of people are not telling you.
Because what? You're not
Luckily, we're open and we're telling you all our problems.
Exactly.
Realistically, a lot of people that you're seeing in your day-to-day, you might not think they're going through this. And they definitely are.
It's a highlight reel. Social media is a highlight reel. Like if you're, and it's hard. Like sometimes I just need to delete Instagram because like I'm like, I can't. Yeah. I don't want to see that. Because I know I will. I'm an extremist. I will start comparing like, oh, well, why don't I have my third home? Like, okay, well, let's go back. And my therapist also said like, let's go back to what you are grateful for. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you have?
What do we already have right now that we can appreciate?
What have you worked so hard for and you were praying to God for and you finally have it and you're just not thinking about it?
Yes.
Like let's be grateful for like all those tears and all that stuff. Like, okay, graduated college, tears. Okay.
Yep.
Moved across the country twice, tears. And money. Okay. Just got a new job. Tears. Oh my
tears God. At work.
Oh, bro, literally.
Tears in front of my mentor. Tears in front of all these people.
Mentors? The tears I cried on these one-on-ones.
Literally.
Like, I need to pivot. Like, please send me anything you have.
Literally.
Any open recs.
I'm praying day in and day out. I'm just talking to God like, please help me get through this.
Please. I'm in my devotional like, dear God.
Literally. I looked back at my gratitude journal from like when I was in college. Yeah. And the things I was praying for, it was like, I just want to be employed.
Oh.
And I was like, I was grateful that at least I was in school at that point. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, I got everything I prayed for. Yeah. So for also that comes to just trusting God in the process.
Really. Real bad.
Because he hasn't failed me yet.
Never. The fact that I got this job.
Grace.
Shout out to God. Okay. God works in mysterious ways.
This might be learning God in your 20s part 2. Because realistically, a lot of things I had to realize it's above me. Like I genuinely can compare. I can only control so much.
So much.
Comparing where I was then to where I am now is only like you're a living testimony of what's happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For me to graduating college was, I mean, y'all heard from last year.
Y'all know. Our girlies from the beginning know we've been through some shit.
And I'm glad we started in college because they really could see our growth. Even if you start listening from even last season.
Yeah.
Like there's growth every single season, especially now we're doing it quarterly. We're not even doing it weekly.
Right. You guys are seeing. That's a good point. Yeah. They're not seeing it weekly anymore. You guys are seeing us like 4 times a year.
Yes, exactly.
We're changing like drastically.
Just like this is why you should subscribe to Patreon.
And this is why you should subscribe to YouTube if you're not watching.
No, exactly.
Number 4, neglecting self-care. In your drive to care for everyone else, you might forget to look after yourself. If you find yourself skipping meals, missing out on enough sleep, or foregoing activities you enjoy to care for others, you might be people-pleasing.
That's just big sisters.
In general.
Like, that's her. Like,
also ate me up.
No, really bad. Like the skipping. And I think for me, skipping meals is just because I'm so stressed. I can't put food in my body.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I just can't. Now for me,
you know, like, that pit in your stomach? I literally can't eat.
Oh my God. By now, you guys have honestly, you've seen the last episode. During like our friendship thing.
Oh.
The pits in the stomach.
And that was honestly like...
That was
our first time really setting boundaries as a friend.
Yeah.
Where honestly for me, where it wasn't a friendship breakup.
Yeah, no. Because the only other time I had it was like y'all kind of did me dirty. So I never had like I want you in my life, but like we've just been people pleasing with each other. Exactly. And it was just
it's people pleasing as friends and as business partners. I'm like, I need a whole therapist just on that.
Bro, literally.
Because I'm like, I can't talk to any of my friends about that.
No,
it's a whole different dynamic. Like, no one understands that.
I need like an unbiased point of view. Like,
yeah, literally. Margaret don't know nothing about podcasts.
Bro, literally. I forgot my therapist's name, but Miss Girl don't know nothing. But like, I'm like, and I'm feeling this way, and she's like, well, have you talked to her? Well, no. She's not feeling that way. It's just me.
It's just me. Yeah.
No.
And usually it's never just you.
It's never just you.
But yeah.
When we had our thing, I was like, oh, so we were both feeling this way?
Right. And both of us were just people pleasing and not bringing it up.
And it was people pleasing will fester.
Oh, and it can turn into, first of all, festering for one, resentment and anger,
bro, and just like
weird feelings over nothing, because you're just debilitating in your head
and just assuming
nothing's even happened.
Nothing, but you're assuming because like all of these things, and it's like, oh, what will she think about that, and what will they think about that, and it's like, and then it just snowballs. It's like people pleasing really is a snowball effect,
and then it does come to a point. And honestly, for me, like I realize I have gotten more, I don't want to say confrontational as in like a negative sense, but in a positive sense where like I can't run away from having a conversation anymore, because it will literally debilitate me to where I'm just stressing about it 24/7 to the point where I'm calling you like, Faith, we need to talk.
Yeah. Like, and and at this point, I think, I don't know if we said in the pod, but at this point, like if there's anything that does come up,
we agreed.
It's
bring
Dreamville.
It up now.
Say Dreamville.
Yeah.
And we know like nothing can be worse than that week.
Yeah.
Ever.
Literally.
Like nothing I bring up to you will ever be like that week. I truly do hope so.
I'm like, Dreamville was kind of a
Dreamville was like a
starting, but I'm saying like, what do we call that week?
I'm calling it Dreamville part, but I don't even know what to call it. But that's what I'm saying. Like we have a code word like that. I think that was like our tipping point where we were just like, I don't know about you, but for me that was like the biggest center of a lot of my stress.
Mm-hmm.
Since Dreamville.
Yeah, same.
Like, that was a big stressor, but I was like, well, it's just me, so I'll work on it myself.
Same.
But after we talked in January, I was like, I feel so much lighter.
And I'm bringing that up in therapy, like, why am I so stressed about it? And I'm like, we haven't spoken, and Margaret didn't help. She talked about, well, me and my girl back in the 80s. I'm like, girl, this ain't what I asked you about.
No,
like,
literally.
But literally, like, having conversations like that, I think that was probably that was kind of the floodgates for me, where I was like, now I know how to come to a friend about a situation and actually, like, handle it like an adult.
Yeah.
I think the most immature thing we could have done was continue to be like, we're not going to discuss it and pretend like everything's dandy.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst thing we could have done. So I feel like I'm really proud of us that we were able to do that, because I think a lot of girl friendships, people say girls have like, oh, girls are drama, or they're always having friend breakups, and guys can be friends for years and not have friend breakups. I think it's because, for one, girl friendships get so deep.
There's a lot of layers to girl friendships.
It's like, I know everything about you.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, it's hard to be like, oh my God, this is my best friend and we have a problem. And then if one small issue happens, it feels like a breakup, like a blow up, because you're just so close with that person.
And you've never had, it's always been sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. So when a problem happens, you don't know how to handle it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, we can't be friends anymore. And it becomes very like cut off really quick. And for me, I'm not like that personally, because I'm like, if I can go back and forth with a man,
Bro, and we do.
I could go back and forth with my friend who's been there for me for every single moment and every single thing that I've gone through and supported me. Like that relationship sometimes is stronger than like intimate relationships that you have with your partner.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you can forgive that man, go talk to that girl and work that out.
Exactly.
Because you guys have years worth of friendship and history that you can be fighting for. You know?
And it's like, I think it was also like a little bit of pride. I'm like, well, like there's just no way she's feeling like that. So I'm just gonna hold it in. And the thing is, Denasia brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't just me.
Yep.
But it was like, but between like kind of ego, pride / people pleasing, that combo,
nasty mitts,
nasty, bro. We're literally for the full year of 2023.
Yeah, we were kind of just avoidant.
And the thing is, and y'all would have never known. I'm not gonna hold you. We had some great episodes.
We did great.
We had some great episodes, okay? Because like, but I think it's also because we thought it was just ourselves.
But we also weren't together. No. Like we weren't in person. Like it was just very easy to do that if we're looking at each other on Zoom. Like how would you know?
But the thing is, like during that time, it was like I was so, and I know you were too, so stressed that I was like, I'm about to be in her space, up under her for a full week.
Girl, I'm like, she's about to be we about to be sleeping in the same bed for a week, and we dead ass are not speaking. Like we're not even friends. Like
for real. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
That was,
I got on that call. I said, "Oh my god,
no, bro!" I
almost wanted to tell you. Can you just hold on for a second? Because my stomach hurts so bad. I was like, bro, I gotta go.
I literally had to go downstairs to like our work from home like office and just be like breathe. And I'm like
she's not gonna beat you. We're not gonna beat each other's ass.
No, like we gotta
talk about.
What are the facts?
Literally,
you're about to be in her city, in her literal bed. Like you have to film a podcast. Y'all done paid this money. Like,
girl, when I sent that text, hey, are you free to talk? Oh. I sent that text, threw the phone across the room. I said, damn. And I was like, bro, you were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, God, I really gotta
we gotta do it now.
I gotta bring this up. And I was like, how's your day? Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, something's off.
Like, I was like, so to get into it.
Yeah.
Like,
and you had to pick up the notes app.
And I was like, to just unpack everything that happened in the past year, really, because it was like, we had not spoken about any of that. And it was like, it was just like, I can't, for one, I was like, I cannot start the new year feeling like that. And feeling like, I feel like now I'm at the point where there's anybody in my life that I am literally so stressed where I have a pit in my stomach about. Yeah. That needs to be a discussion.
Oh, quickly.
Because I can't keep going on like that.
Yeah. And like
it's affecting work. Like I'm at work having a panic attack.
Bro, I'm like, hey, sweets, like can you just give me 5 minutes? Like, I think I might be going through a friend breakup. Like, I don't know. Like and you still gotta do work.
Yeah.
You still gotta work.
I was like, this is a friend breakup. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if this is a friend breakup and we're dissolving this podcast.
Exactly.
Like, it was just like a lot of elements to it.
There was a lot of layers. Like I've known this girl freaking since I was 17.
Literally.
Like, this is like goodness gracious.
This took a turn, guys. But I'm glad we said it because this is a real life example.
No, this is
like in our own lives how we had to both stop being people pleasers to each other.
Exactly. Like and like this is your sign to like it's okay. Like we're good friends.
Yeah.
Like as Denasia 23, you have different expectations of what a best friend looks like
versus when we were 17.
Bro, there really weren't no expectations. I was like, black girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Black girl. We both went to Pito you guys. We're like, black girl? Funny, cool?
Yeah.
Bestie.
Literally, that's really what it is.
And now it's like we've grown up and we are expecting different things of our friends. We live in 2 different states.
That's really
what it is. Our lifestyles, like there's just a lot so many different things. It's like, it's very hard to expect the same things. And I think there's not one size fit all for your friendships, even with the same person.
Oh, no, absolutely. And like, there's ebbs and flows in relationships, but also friendships.
Yep.
And this we and
we hate the word ups and downs. We hate that phrase, but
I'm not.
It was giving ups and downs.
It was giving ups and downs.
And I hate to say that.
If you were a fly on the wall,
whoo, in both of our respective apartments across the country.
Literally like that. I paid money because the way I was sweating, I had to take a shower after that call.
I said I literally was like,
but it was like a release. It was literally a release.
Yeah.
Like a release just of like a full year.
All anxiety.
Like ego, pride, people pleasing.
And that's how you know you've done it right too.
Yeah.
If you feel like that release.
If you poop after a conversation, you know you did.
You did it right.
No, you did it right. Yeah. Okay, so oh my gosh, this has been a lot.
This is insane. No, oh my God. I will say, shout out to us for being so open because I don't think we would have been able to like have this like vulnerable of a conversation like back in 2022 when we started this.
No.
At all.
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? Especially on my end. I really struggled with like sharing things. This is like,
oh yes,
this was really hard.
Yeah, in the beginning, like I was like, okay, do you want to say that? Like,
once again, it came from people pleasing. It was like, oh, I don't know if I should be open and honest about that. Like,
but also, we were trying to make sure we secured our
that too. I was worried about being employed. Exactly. I was like, I just imagined my job, me going into a job interview and them having a laptop and turning it around and pressing play on the podcast and being like, you said this?
Yeah. No, we like it was people pleasing, but also like we worked so hard for the 4 years. Like we're being very smart, but now it's just like we got our jobs. Like realistically, everybody has a life outside of work.
Yeah,
and you don't realize
just on YouTube.
It's yeah, exactly. Let's see. Agreeing with everything. If you often agree with others, even when you have a different opinion, it can be a sign of people pleasing. It can stem from a desire to avoid conflict or to be liked by everyone. Yeah, path of least resistance.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally what
it is. The easiest.
Yeah.
Sits, overcommitting. Do you often feel overwhelmed because you've said yes to too many things? Taking on more than you can handle to try to make everyone else happy is a common problem for people pleasers.
That's literally my first year of work.
Been getting ate up all episode.
Bro, real bad. Yeah. Like a mosquito. Girl, it was literally insane. And then finally, 7, fear of rejection. A deep fear of being disliked can drive people... Damn. A deep fear of being disliked can drive people-pleasing behavior. If you often worry about what others think and go out of your way to maintain their approval, it's likely you're a people pleaser. Maintaining approval?
Oh my God.
Tiring.
Margaret wrote this, bro.
Bad. Like she's on the Calm website. She's the editor for sure. Like
literally,
just those 7.
Yeah,
like if you align to any of those, it's time. Like whatever pit in your stomach got dropped with whatever we've been saying.
You know what you need to work.
You know what you need.
Whoever
to do.
You thought of,
exactly.
You need to have a talk with them.
Yeah,
conversation.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
but what are some conscious ways you've been trying to change this?
Yeah. So for me, I saw this TikTok. And you know how like one TikTok will like change your life or perspective?
Yeah.
It was this girl when she was in the street and she was like, things that I've just been doing is thinking, what would I do if nobody else was around? Like, what would I do?
Yeah.
And like, it could be as simple as me sitting in the club. Like that was like, for me, I'm like, okay, let's take stock of how I'm feeling. My feet are hurting. I'm inebriated. We got to find a chair.
Yep.
Before I would have been like, well, everybody else is standing, so they probably want me to stand and I can't sit.
Yep.
Like it doesn't have to be big things. It doesn't have to be a full on 4-day
life changing.
Exactly.
Like it can be literally the smallest things.
But the smallest things are life changing. Like I get like proud of myself every time I'm like, okay, take stock of how we're feeling. Do we really want to do this? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, what will they think? That's like the other side of my brain. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
That's what you want. Go sit down. And it's like, okay, girl, you got me there. And it's like, sometimes you have to have this conversation with yourself. But like, at the end of the day, do you like what you're doing? Can you go to sleep with yourself at the end of the night? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's literally all that matters. Another thing that I was doing is, what do I really want to do regardless of other people's emotions or thoughts? And that's very, very hard because I'm like, well, if I do that, it might make this person mad or make this person think of me this way. I can't control what they think of me.
Yep.
Unfortunately, if that would be my power. I'm not going to, if I had a power, I would love that. But like
that and shapeshifter, let me tell you.
BBL, okay?
Wow. I'm thinking more like I could turn into a bird. BBL is crazy.
No, but hey, get a little booty on that. Somebody.
Okay, I'm getting Ari's booty.
Oh, that thing is nice.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think that's really hard. But having these like just quotes in your head, quotes can really change lives. I love the quote pages. I love a little swipe TikTok.
Yep.
With the little animations. I have a lot of those saved to my phone because like you have to remind myself, what would I do if nobody was here? I should not be caring about what anybody else thinks except for me.
Yep.
Can I go to sleep with myself tonight and be like, I did everything that I wanted to do today? Okay. Now, and it's just a really hard balance of being selfish. It's like, I'm hurting their feelings, but at what cost? It's kind of like a cost,
cost benefit analysis.
Exactly. You kind of have to, but that's things you just kind of have to work on. But like, start small. If I want to sit down, let me sit down. Let me not have like an anxiety over it. It's okay if I sit down. Nobody's gonna whoop you.
No one's gonna beat your ass because you sat down in the club.
It's literally okay. But in my head, I'm catastrophizing it. Like, oh, I don't know. What are they gonna think about? that you're sitting down. What are the facts? You are sitting down. Like, it's just not that deep. But what about you, moms?
Yeah, so I saw a video and it was like, imagine if your friend said, hey, can you pick me up from the airport? And it's like 6 a.m. You'd probably be like, yeah, of course. I'll go pick you from the airport at 6 a.m. She said, now, let's just say you have to do something for yourself at 6 a.m. And you said, oh, well, I'm just tired. I'm not going to do it. She said, you would show up for that other person, but you can't even show up for yourself.
Sick.
I said, damn. Because I would go to the airport at 6 a.m. for my friend.
Oh,
absolutely. But would I go to the gym at 6 a.m. for myself? I might not.
Yeah.
So things like that, I'm not going to lie, TikTok do be eating me up because I do see videos that are always related somehow to whatever I'm going through.
Yeah.
But that one really showed me like, okay, you have to show up for yourself. And then also asking what does Denasia actually want in this situation? And if I go do this, am I going to actually be happy with it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of things I do, just I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
But it's like no one's forcing your hand.
Nobody.
You literally don't have to do that.
You're grown.
And I think also a lot of it is kind of me healing my inner child because there's a lot of things that I feel like, especially as a kid, where I just wouldn't stand up for myself. And I would just let people walk all over me.
Yeah.
And now I feel like every time that I say no or I lay a boundary or I like check someone, it's like I'm making up for whatever little Denasia didn't do or say. And it's like, you don't have to do that like every single time someone has an issue with you. You can let things go, but it does feel rewarding to like stand up for yourself and know that you're laying that boundary there, and you probably wouldn't be able to do that when you were a kid or a teenager or even an early adult, really.
Facts.
But yeah, I say that that's probably the main thing. And also, I feel like I've gotten a lot better about bringing up situations and learning how to not let my emotions get the best of me in them. Because I think once you start like pushing your emotions down so much and not bringing things up to people please, the second you do bring it up, it's like, oh, now I'm pissed.
Everything's coming out.
Now everything's coming out at once, and now I'm not even delivering it or it's getting across the way I want to. I'm not even having a mature conversation because my emotions are so all over the place.
Because you kept it in.
Because you kept it in for so long, so now when it comes out, it's an explosion. And I've noticed that definitely happens with me. So I've been working on managing how I feel about it and getting my emotions down before I have the conversation versus like...
Which is hard.
Really hard because usually, I mean, the reason why the conversation happens is because you do hit a point. But I guess that also comes from laying the boundary up front. And like if you have an issue, like bringing it up then. It doesn't start snowballing into a bigger issue.
Because it will. It will.
Every time.
Moms, what is the hardest part about being selfish / choosing yourself?
Honestly, for me, it's like realizing that the boundaries I set and the things I do for myself, the people who are meant to be in my life will still be my life regardless of what I said, which is really, really hard because it's like I've now come to understand that whoever's in my life is meant to be there and I don't really have control over that. I do to a certain extent, but it's like in reality, I think people can be for seasons and some people, they might be in your life for a time, and if they're not later, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It doesn't mean like, oh my God, like I did something to make that distance happen. It's just like sometimes that happens naturally. And it really is hard to accept that. Because for me, like I'm a very loyal to the soil type of girl. If I meet someone and I'm friends with you or I'm in a relationship with you, I'm ready to ride that to the wheels fall off. But realistically, that might not be what's supposed to be in my plan. You know? So like having to accept that and realizing that if I say no or if I set a boundary, it doesn't mean they're going to hate me or we're not friends anymore. Like it just means like this is what I need to do for me. And if they're your friend, they will respect that.
It'll just be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's
for a little bit. But then in reality, if they're meant to be your person, it will continue.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. For me, it's like feeling like I may have hurt somebody's feelings because I did what I wanted, or they'll be irritated at me or mad at me. Like I think that definitely is childhood trauma. Like I really, like growing up, I really tried to appease my dad like hard. Like I tried to do everything in my power, and every time it just wasn't good enough in one way or another. Like more so my dad's family. And it was just like, I'm trying every other weekend to be the best daughter, grandchild, cousin, whatever.
All the accolades.
Like all the accolades. And I just couldn't. I just couldn't because of one or another. And it's like, honestly, there was just a lot of internalized like little faith just like being hurt and being like, every single time I would get back in the car with my mom, like, okay, what happened at your dad's? I'm like, well, he did this and he said that and my grandma said that and da-da-da. And it's like, that's a lot for a little 7-year-old girl.
And that doesn't just end at 7. That continues.
That stretches through all of life. And now I'm just trying to undo that. And like, I'm seeing it in my friendships. I'm seeing it in my relationships. Like, it's just like, why do I got to pay so much money to this therapist because of what my family did?
Right.
God.
Literally. It's just your circumstance that you're in too.
It's just, I can't choose my daddy.
Right. You can't choose that.
I can't choose my daddy.
Literally. I realize a lot of the people pleasing I have and wanting to be liked really comes from like not being in a stable environment when it comes to moving around so much and having to be like
so many new friends,
so many new environments, and just feeling like, oh my God, I have to assimilate every single place I go to. And I was like, damn, like that really does take a toll, because it's like I now have to fit into wherever I'm going. And if I don't, I will be alone. And now I'm just doing that with everyone I go to. I'm like, okay, I have to mirror where I'm at. Who is Denasia actually if no one's around?
That was very hard to figure out. What does Faith like?
What do you actually like? What do you actually like when other people aren't around? Which honestly, we had our Living Alone episode, a lot of that was me discovering who you are when other people are not there. And not mirroring others. Because also, we brought up earlier in early seasons, like, oh my God, we don't want to mix friend groups. I realize a lot of that comes from, there's different sides of Denasia that each people are seeing, because I'm literally mirroring different friend groups. Like, girl, get it together. All of your friends know you, but in different capacities, which is fair. But it's like, okay, you're doing that because you are assimilating to different environments you're in. And you really don't have to do that. Like you can be the same person in each environment you're in.
But it's just hard.
It's so hard.
Because they know you and you're like, okay, well, where does girl come from?
Right. But they don't know that side of you.
Exactly. Like you don't have to water yourself down, which easier said than done. I'm still working on that. Like
this is a work in progress.
Like watering myself down is something that I definitely do to try to just like appease the masses. And it's like, I don't know.
It's like you're assuming that's what they want.
They might like
they might not like. They might like you just how you are. You just don't know that.
You literally just don't know.
But yeah, I guess
I think. Let me see. I think my last thing was not everyone.
Rewarding.
You said, oh no. I was gonna say my last thing about the last one. Not everyone is going to like you or your actions, but as long as you can live with yourself, is all that really matters.
Period.
That's just really what it is.
About to put Margaret, write that one down.
No, write it one. I was like, wow, shout out to me for real.
Yay.
No, but for real, sorry. What's the last question?
What's the most rewarding thing about choosing yourself?
Younger me is screaming inside, saying "Go Faith."
Yeah,
like little me.
She's rooting for you.
People pleased real bad, and I could just imagine like a little mini Faith inside of my heart, and she's like, "Oh, we said no.
Go ahead.
We're talking to our dad about what we really believe." Like I think. During Christmas is when you did initially want to bring the conversation up, but when you heard that I was talking to my dad, you were like, nope.
I was like, she's dealing with enough on her plate. Like, this is the last thing she needs.
Exactly. So having the conversation with my dad, I was like, I can go into the new year like renewed. But then but I was like, okay, I still have the kind of the Denasia thing in my mind, but like that's something I have to work on individually. But when Denasia brought it up, I was like, whoa, Christmas and then the end of January?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 months of like things that for my dad, I've been working on since I was 5, or not working on, but going through since I was 5 with you since Dreamville. Like, oh, we knocked 2 birds in one stone for real.
When I tell you December, actually Thanksgiving through December, because Thanksgiving I went through a bad breakup. So that from the whole holidays was just shit. Yeah. And I went into the new year, and that's part of the reason why I texted you and I was like, I refuse to go into the new year feeling like I have things weighing heavy on my heart.
Yeah, because it takes over everything.
It literally does. And I was like, I'm sick of feeling like I'm stressing and it's literally affecting my day-to-day life over things that I need to discuss and I can have conversations with. I'm just avoiding it.
It's just a hard conversation
to have.
Very hard conversations.
Period.
We didn't realize it was going to be a 4-parter.
Didn't know, bro. Didn't know. But now we know. And I feel like, I think it made us better people.
We're better for it. Oh my gosh, we're better for it. Like that was a very grown thing for you to do. And for both of us,
and for you to come back and say, "I people please the first conversation." Let's double back. She was like, "Actually," she called me. She's like, "Actually, I feel like I didn't really say how I truly felt the first call. So this is how I actually felt." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's go into it." And then we got that continued to a 3rd call,
and then a 4th call, and then we were good. Yeah, I was like, I feel comfortable. Like I know it was still going to be like. We're trying to figure out what this friendship dynamic was, but I knew it was going to be better than
what it was. For a fact.
If we just kept it quiet,
it would have came out on this couch.
It would have came out on the pod.
It would have came out on this couch.
Yeah. So y'all would have seen it. Like
and I honestly, maybe comment below if you ever peeped like, oh, maybe something's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we were like this, our friendship has nothing to do with the podcast. We try to keep them separate, but it's like in reality, the podcast happened because of our friendship. So we have to work on that first. They intertwine.
Yeah. But we weren't all year.
Yeah.
Saying we were going to.
Bro, we're over here having episodes about how to have hard conversations, and we're avoiding the biggest one. Yeah. So this is a moment of accountability for us, honestly, because we really needed to have that. And I feel like it did a lot for us.
It did a lot for the podcast.
Hopefully y'all learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, hopefully whoever came to mind when you're listening to this, you have that talk with them.
Yeah, just text them and throw the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked for me.
But I think that's really all the time we have for real.
No, yeah, for sure, whenever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope you can relate.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next episode.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.